Coming up, we're celebrating the holidays in Savannah, Georgia, and I've invited Jesse Blanco to join us, and he's going to give us some of the insider view of how to enjoy the city. Welcome to Coastal with Kathryn. I am so excited to introduce you to Jesse Blanco, but you know what? Everybody knows Jesse here because you are the food guru of the Lowcountry. We love you in Savannah, Charleston, up and down from Florida, right up through South Carolina. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. I appreciate the invite.
Can you guess where we are? Look a little bit at the architecture around us. Well, we're in Savannah, and we love Savannah very much because one thing I found out about Savannah, it's like a little big city.
Yes, I would agree with that. It's a walkable little big city, which makes it so charming and appealing to so many people.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing I wanted to explain to people that it's so much history. I mean, there's 200 years of history here, and the city has done such a great job in preserving it, making sure that when we do come to here, you feel authentic.
Yeah. There's a big, here in the landmark historic district where we are, it's the largest one in America. And everything here is so incredibly protected. I mean, any work that you want to do on any of these homes, you have to get it approved and checked off by so many different entities to paint it. You have to make sure the color is right. Everything has to be as original as it was. Obviously, some of the things that they use for building now didn't exist when these things were built. But they're sticklers for it down here, and as a result, we get to enjoy this like it was a couple of hundred years ago.
And you know, with the history, General Oglethorpe came here, and he was actually the mastermind with the footprint, and little did we know how much we need green space today, a couple hundred years later. I think one thing Savannah is really known for are the beautiful parks. I mean, there's like 22.
20, they just added another one. They literally this week, there's now 23 squares. Where everyone likes to call them parks, but they are squares, and they are the grid upon which the city was built. That was his vision from day one, which was pretty incredible.
It is totally incredible because you know, back then, you know, there's lots of green space, but and it's been preserved when nothing has. And I think each park square has its own personality as well.
Yeah.
I think Forsyth, it seems to be the most popular. Is that because it's the largest?
Yeah, that's our central park, if you will. That is the main gathering spot. We have a band shell there. There's live music and all of that. But yeah, you're right. Every square has its own personality. Different parts of town, whether it be commercial or more residential or a mix of both, they are unique.
So let's keep going.
Okay.
Are you hungry? Do you love fried chicken? Well, we are going to go to Mrs. Wilkes restaurant, and we're going to try what is, I'm told, the best fried chicken in Savannah. Jesse, this is wonderful.
Yeah, it smells good in here, doesn't it?
It smells wonderful. Yeah. It's charming.
When President Obama, there's a picture of him on the wall over there, when he came here, Miss Marcia says that he stood right there and he goes, "Something smells good up in here."
Well, you know, something smelled really good. When we were standing out there, I could just smell the food, and I just thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. I can't wait to sit down.
Yeah.
Well, we just sat down and look at this beautiful food. And what I love about Mrs. Wilkes is that it's home Southern comfort food. And I think this is the original comfort food that we think about. Yeah. And if you can just give us a little idea, I mean, you've been here so often. We have fried chicken, obviously. We have collards, we have coleslaw, cucumbers, mac and cheese.
Cream corn.
Cream corn, oh wow.
Beef stew. That looks like dirty rice over there.
I think what do we got here? For their cornbread. What is that?
You said stuffing? Cornbread stuffing. Yeah, the diet starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow the diet will start. So where should we begin?
The chicken. You got to start with the chicken.
Okay, let's try with the chicken.
Here you go.
Okay.
And the way it usually works, I hold it for you.
And I hold it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Here's your fork.
I'm taking that. I'm a white meat guy, so I take that one.
Okay.
It's the simplicity of these foods that make them so wonderful. Gotta have some cornbread stuffing.
Okay.
It's like Thanksgiving. I didn't have Thanksgiving this year.
You didn't?
No, I was out of the country.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't celebrate
How about
Thanksgiving.
that?
Yeah, mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. That's very popular here. Mac and cheese. Tell me about the pimento cheese. People say, where's the original?
Pimento cheese?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a southern thing or not. It might be. I have no idea. I just know that every restaurant in Savannah, I think, has a version of pimento cheese. It's like
I heard
pasta.
it was southern, so.
You're not southern. Cream corn is delicious.
Okay. Here you go.
Yeah.
And there's more. I can't believe this. What I love about the experience here is that there was a long line standing outside waiting to come in, which you saw. And it's a community table, so there are people who are sitting together who are not necessarily know anybody. They just kind of fill the tables as you come in, and you make friends. Mm-hmm. And that's like the Southern way.
That is the beauty of this place, besides the food, and the people are wonderful.
So this restaurant has been here for about 80 years.
Yeah.
Test of time, correct? It's had a couple of owners since then. And what's so beloved about it? What is this situation? I mean, when I talked to Jesse about, let's go to a couple of restaurants as we're doing our holiday theme today, he's like, we got to come here.
This is quintessential Savannah. This is Southern, obviously. The hospitality here is just second to none. Family owned and operated. You just feel like you're at someone's house when you're here. You almost literally are, because people live upstairs, but everybody is so nice. Everybody is so inviting. The food is phenomenal. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's on arguably the most beautiful street in Savannah, out on Jones Street. So
Jones Street is actually very pretty. Now, we saw that earlier as well. But I also, they have a cookbook for all this as well. So if you can't be here, you could probably order it on one of the bookstores and have all the recipes for yourself to enjoy. So we're going to have a couple of bites and be right back with you. And I want to introduce you to Marcia Thompson, who is now third generation with your grandmother starting this wonderful restaurant. It is 80 years here in Savannah.
Since 1942 or 3. She came during the war. Eminent domain, the government took their farm, eminent domain, to build an airfield, and they had to just pick up and leave everything they'd ever known and come to Savannah. And well, they decided to come to Savannah, and that's how it started. She had it was hard to find anywhere to live, and she found this little boarding house and had 11 boarders that lived here that were mostly older people. I say that now, I'd probably not think they were older.
I kind of think, well, we could have been part of that.
No, they were like widows and widowers, and they were like one big family, and she had some Georgia Tech students. She's very strict, and it was, to live here, you had to toe the line, really. But my great-grandmother lived on the parlor level, and so as a little girl, I grew up there with her. She'd let us snap some beans and shell some peas and some things like that, but I couldn't come down to make biscuits or anything. I was supposed to stay upstairs.
Didn't I hear once upon a time that a lunch back then was something like a nickel or a quarter or something like that?
I remember 75 cents. That's as much as I remember. I don't know. And
Can you imagine?
She grew up had such a hard time growing up, and quickly, I'll tell you, her mother died when she was 9, and she said she'd tell her how to pull a chair up to the stove and cook for the farm hands at 9. And if you've ever seen what that vintage looks like, it's amazing. That would have been like, I saw FDR's kitchen at Warm Springs, and I mean, how far we have come. And then her daddy died when she was 12, and they had to go live with an aunt. And so she married my granddaddy at 17 so they could raise her brothers. And then they had the Spanish flu right away and almost died from that. And then they had the Depression, and then they had World War II. And then the government took their farm for an airfield. So all that before she was very old, and it's just amazing. She could live to be 95 and go through all that stress. She would work here all day and then go home and work in her house and work in her garden, whatever she wanted to do. She was amazing.
That is wonderful. But let me just talk about the menu, because we have Jesse with us. Also, I mean, I'd love that history, but we sat down, and I can't imagine how many dishes were in front of us. 10, 12, 14?
I think it was at least 20.
20 dishes
we have about
in front
20
of us.
every day.
And I want to do, and I want to share the book with you. I may have to call them to have it shipped to you. Will you do that with the people who are interested?
We do that.
But and here's all the recipes, and I was just taken back with all, it was so delicious. Jesse's like, Kathryn, start with the chicken, start here. He gave me the protocol of how to enjoy this meal, and it was so bountiful. And there was a table behind us. It was from France, I guess Paris.
We just have the luxury of meeting so many nice people from all over the world. I could tell you so many stories.
Well, it's really lovely to meet you.
You
and
too.
I have to tell you, they're always packed. Before we even arrive, there's a line to get in. You open at 11 and you close at
2.
2.
But we like to be busy right up till 2 o'clock, and it that's good for us. So usually there's a line around the corner a lot of days, and so sometimes we're here till 3 or later.
Well,
but we'd love to have everybody come see us.
Well, it's really worth it. And Jesse, thank you for bringing us here. He was like, Kathryn, this is where we're going to go.
That's right.
Well, we
I know you
appreciate
love it
that.
here too.
He does all good things.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us.
So nice to be here. So nice to meet you.
All right.
So now Jesse and I were at the City Market, which is a very popular place in Savannah. Right here in this courtyard, the square, there's everything you need for treats, purchasing, stores, and a wonderful experience.
Yeah, once upon a time, this used to be the marketplace. The grocers were all lined up here, kind of a farmer's market type situation. That's why it's called City Market. But now it's our entertainment hub, if you will. For the kind of everything emanates from here. Everybody thinks the headliner is River Street, and obviously everybody likes to go there. But this is really where it's at.
Really, because I do like River Street too.
Yeah,
You know, but
yeah.
you think about River Street and the City Market, right over there, everybody. There's the Savannah Candy Kitchen,
Yeah.
and we have one of those on River Street. Before I go too far, I don't know. I'm getting a sweet tooth.
Yeah, I've always have room for sweets.
Come in and take a look. You can see over here we have the white chocolates, the dark chocolates, and they have the tasting. So hi there.
Welcome in.
How are you?
Good, how are you guys?
And so when you normally
I'll be
come
doing
in,
better with a sample.
do we get a sample?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like one too?
This gentleman as well. Can I have mine?
Of course.
Thank you so much. And we love the candy shop here. And obviously through the holidays, even all time, 365 days a year, we love this store. What do you think?
Fabulous.
Is this one of your favorites?
It is. Yeah.
What you making? What kind?
I'm starting some more pralines. Right now I have the milk. I'm about to put some butter in there.
Yeah?
Quarter pound low-fat butter.
There's always low-fat butter and everything. So what's the most popular praline?
The original, because it has a maple butter taste, but the chocolate one has a fudge brownie texture. So it's
Right.
really up to you. It's
Yeah.
like either less sweet with the chocolate, but fudgy, or a little sweet but buttery.
Oh, interesting. How many types of pralines do we make?
Right now we only have 2,
Okay.
chocolate and regular.
So this is what I love about, these wonderful restaurants, and Jesse can tell us more about all the amazing restaurants we do have here. I mean, there's really from, like we just had home style to beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, the food scene here is progressing. Obviously, you can get the comfort food, but you can get, more modern Southern cuisine with Southern ingredients, but a little more creative, progressive, if you will. There's everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you recommend? Let's say you have, you want to go out for dinner, for holiday dinner.
Right.
And you want to get dressed up. Everybody, we've all been stuck in COVID clothes, right? But I want to put a nice dress and some nice high heels on. What could you offer 2 or 3 different restaurants that, you can get all dressed up and celebrate?
Well, the Pink House is the icon here. Everybody loves the Pink House. The food is similar to what we just had at Miss Wilkes. Similar, not the same. Everybody loves that. The history in that building speaks for itself. The food is wonderful. I'm a big fan of Common Thread, same owners as Farm Bluffton. They have a spot here. And then also, I'm a big fan of a restaurant called Fleeting, like Fleeting in the Thompson Hotel. Wonderful. And also Emporium. I can't not mention Emporium. So those will probably be my 4 off the top of my head go-tos to get dressed up and go for a night out.
Now we have to have what we would call libration.
Sure. Yeah.
He's speechless. He doesn't even know what to say. But right there, this is very popular, the Little Crown. That is someplace that we're going to go in and we're going to go find a beverage. What do you think?
Let's do it.
And you know what's interesting about Savannah is that you can have a beverage and walk around and shop, correct?
Correct. That's part of the magic, if you will, for some people. You can go into any bar, restaurant, and grab a beer. It doesn't have to be anything, high octane. Just grab a beer and walk with it anywhere downtown.
Well, we're going to do that because we have a lot more things to see. Well, we're in Pie Society, and not only do we have this wonderful bakery, all these wonderful treats that we love so much, and you can actually get bacon sausage rolls and all of these delightful things, but on this side, this is the side where we can have our beverage, right?
Yep.
And our beverage of choice is, the people love this place, it's one of the locals, and it's actually one of the hot spots that people like for the experience. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, they do a really nice job here. It's tiny. On the weekends, sometimes there's only, 9 seats. I've been in here plenty of times where it's a little jammed, but they do a great job with their cocktails, and it's I can't say it's a hidden gem because most people know about it, and the foot traffic here is pretty intense, so there's a lot of looky-loos just popping in, but it's one of my favorite spots. You were asking about favorites. This is one of my favorite spots. I like to sit over there.
We have to come here, don't we?
Yes.
Hi, can we get a beverage? Hello, yeah, you can. Come on over this way.
She's
What
like,
are you doing? Well, Jesse said, our next stop, we're going to go to Collins Quarters and get a treat. I can't wait. All right, well, we have our beverage. Jesse has a pumpkin beer for the season, huh? What are you thinking?
It's fabulous.
Let's
It's
keep going.
perfect
We're
for the
gonna go this
season.
way.
Pumpkin flavored beer at the holidays. What more could you ask for?
What would be next?
A shot of Jameson.
Well, we're not finished with the treats quite yet. I think, Jesse, we can't go down the city market without bumping into sweets, correct?
That's right.
Well, this is Birds. Everybody, we know Birds. It started here in Savannah. It's now a national chain.
Yep.
Congratulations to them for all their success, for sure. But again, look at all these wonderful treats that we have. Their cookies are amazing. They have the tins. And again, we're talking about holidays. And this is all great ways to find stocking stuffers and all the things that we need for the holidays. The Collins Quarters, which is one of the hot spots here in Savannah. Would you agree, Jess?
I would agree.
But before we go too far, take a look at this. This is probably the most beautiful cafe I have seen. Look at the seahorse, and you can see a little bit of the lavender. It's a spiced lavender coffee. How do you like that? I can't wait to taste this.
Ooh.
But what did you have?
I got the Thai iced coffee with cardamom and cream and simple syrup. Oh boy, that's delicious.
It is delicious.
Oh man.
You can eat, drink, and be very merry here in Savannah.
Yes. This spot, this kind of put brunch on the scene in Savannah 8 years or so ago. Yeah, 8 years. It's here in the center of downtown. You can come here during the day, have coffees, snacks, lunch. Brunch is huge here. But then at night, it's one of the more beautiful venues. They dim the lights, they put out candles, and it's a super beautiful spot for dinner too.
This is one of your, again, Jesse said we're coming here, and I'm so glad we are. We're just having a great visit. It's nice to be with somebody who knows Savannah so well. I've just enjoyed our time and learning about the history of Savannah.
It's got so much, and downtown, the historic landmark district isn't getting any bigger, but it is getting richer, I believe. The people who come here make it special. Visitors, the people who are moving here, trying to move Savannah forward, and so there's a lot to look forward to. The food scene is growing, as we've discussed a couple of times. It's happening.
Hey, anybody coming in? What's new on that food scene? I mean, there's always a hotel going up and start being refurbished or reowned and modernized.
Well, the owner of this restaurant is opening an Italian restaurant over on Broughton Street. It's going to be, I'm sure, very, very nice. They don't do anything here unless they do it really well.
The other thing I like about it, there are these places, the cafes that we're going to, they're boutique-y. They're not just this big commercial place. There's a lot of personality, and I like that as well. Some of us we're kind of overdone with the chain stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
This place has probably the best coffee program in the city.
really, well, according to mine, it's just stunning. Look at mine, beautiful. All right, well, there's more to see.
Yes.
Well, as we're strolling, look at this. We have Chippewa Square, which is very nostalgic for Savannah, right?
Yeah.
A famous movie was shot here. I think the bench was, where was the bench?
The bench was where the sign
It was
was.
where the sign was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Does anybody, can you name that movie? We'll give you a couple of hints. Give them a hint.
Box of chocolates.
Oh, come on. That was way too easy.
Well.
Well, we love that. And guess what it is? It's Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And this is the famous square where he was filmed.
Yeah.
And actually, this is really famous for another reason. And there is a statue right here. And if you look up there, there's General Oglethorpe, right?
Yeah.
And this gentleman was the founder, the visionary.
Yeah. Of Savannah, and the whole layout for the city was his idea, and this is where his monument is.
Wow, it's interesting, and that's just 1733, so a couple hundred years ago, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. There he is. When he landed, it was sort of like in the Bluffton, like somewhere in the Bluffs, the Savannah River, when they came in.
Over where the Hyatt is now, yeah. It's where he landed at the bluff and set up shop there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a chance to understand a little bit about the trees we're talking about, but take a look up here, look at pan up here. These oak trees, I mean, they have to be hundreds of years old, don't you think?
Oh yeah, of course.
And then you have the moss, which, be careful of the moss because, there's chiggers in the moss, which I want to tell a few people about that. But this is nostalgic. This is what it's all about in Savannah. And when you do come to Savannah, there's over 20 of these parks that you need to visit. And each one is specific, unique, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one has a coffee shop at one end. This Bull Street corridor is very, very highly trafficked on foot. In the spring, it's just like Grand Central Station through here. There's a wonderful chocolate shop there and the Sixpence Pub, and it's kind of the heartbeat, if you will, the main artery, if you will, of the city north to south.
Is
this
it?
street? Yeah.
And another thing I want to talk about quickly, it's it's a film capital here. People don't understand how many films are here now, correct?
Yeah,
Can you share a little
constantly.
bit about that?
Oh boy, I mean, you name, going back ages to The Legend of Bagger Vance and The General's Daughter, and something to talk about. That's old school Savannah. Midnight in the Garden, Good and Evil, obviously, but more recently, Will Smith shot a movie here. Natalie Portman was here. There's so many. You see these movie sets set up, and you know what? Oh, that's for Hallmark Channel, or that's for Apple TV. There's just such a glut of content being put out there that it's not always these A-list motion pictures. There's a lot of film production going on here in smaller projects that do get some big names. Jamie Lee Curtis shot Halloween here last year. She was walking around, photographed here, there, and everywhere. And so, there's a lot. I mean, you're seeing celebrity sightings all the time.
Yeah,
So
I understand that too. So when we talk about, we're going to wrap our visit up. Savannah. Not only do we have the architecture and the history, which is beloved, and we have these parks, but the food, the music. Even the music vibe is tremendous here as well.
Yeah. The symphony does a great job. They have concerts in our Forsyth Park. We have a Savannah Jazz Festival. There's a separate music festival. The Jazz Festival happens in the fall, the music festival in the spring. So there's a lot of culture for a city this size. We'd always like to see more. There's a voice festival that comes through every year. Like I said, we'd like to see more. Never enough culture, but but we have plenty for a city this size. And the film festival is obviously huge every October. We've got a lot.
Time visiting all the wonderful places here at City Market, but Jesse, I wanted to take a moment, sit down and talk to you. There is so much going on with you right now that I thought I would like to share that.
I'm very fortunate, very blessed, but like people say, you've been very lucky. Well, the harder I work, the luckier I get. lot going on in my world.
Jesse, you're working on a second book,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about the theme of that one.
Well, the first one was Savannah Food Crawls. That will be out June of 2023. The second one is going to be called Charleston Food Crawls. It's breaking news. I haven't shared that with too many people, but
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. My publisher liked what I did with our food scene here in Savannah so much. They asked me, "Hey, can you do Charleston?" And I said, "Well, I don't know Charleston's food scene nearly as well as I do here. Obviously, this is my front yard, but I know it fairly well. So I've done some research, and I'm going to talk to some people, and I'm going to embark on a second book. Charleston Food Crawls. Don't know when it'll be out. I would think end of 23, maybe early 24. But it's kept me busy. It's a lot of fun. It kind of has a way of immersing you into certain topics. Obviously, for the Savannah one, I know the material, but it was still intense. For 9 days, I locked myself in my house. All I did was eat, work out, and write for 9 straight days. And so it was a labor, but it was good.
So what I'd like to do is come back, and I want to come back and do as you say, the restaurant.
Yeah.
Crawling, as you call it.
Crawl.
The crawl.
Yeah. I'll take you on a food crawl.
I want to go on a food crawl. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Shall we sign up and do that next year?
Yeah, we'll do that next year. Yeah. You know how many people have asked me if I'd take them on a food crawl? You're very lucky.
See, I'm on camera. He has to say yes. He can't say no.
That's right. I won't say no. I won't say no. So what do you have coming up in 2023?
We're still plugging along with our show. We've been having a delightful time. The community has been wonderful. I mean, we've gone from, lately I've been getting a lot of in and out of cars lately, even really old cars, the Grand Prix and the Concorde to the Savannah Bananas. I mean, there's so much things happening, and that's the one thing I started this whole show, is just this coastal lifestyle. Coastal with Kathryn, our territory is wherever the ocean meets the shore, correct? And so and I'm finding, even from Charleston to Beaufort to Hilton Head to Savannah, it's similar, but it's not the same.
Correct.
And I want to keep going down the coastline and wherever the ocean takes us. And one day I'd like to go abroad. Wouldn't that be fun?
Sure. Absolutely.
So, thank
Very
you for
good.
asking, buddy. As we're closing out this year, thank you for joining me. You are delightful and great hospitality.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy following you and your adventures on social media, and we'll do that food crawl next year.
That sounds great.